And so what was the concerted effort to grow your social profiles tremendously? You've been online on YouTube since what, 2015, 2016.
2015, yeah.
And so now you're just actually making an effort to go crazy and really get seen. What was the switch that flipped?
I don't know what it was. I just, at the beginning of the year, I kind of set, because I like to stick to maybe 3, 4, maximum 5 goals for the year. This was the first year ever in my life where I set a YouTube subscriber goal, and that goal was 500K, and we hit it, I think, earlier in the month, actually. So right now we're doing around 110,000 new subs a month, and it takes a lot of work. I mean, I've been uploading on YouTube since 2015, but I always uploaded just more for me. Like, I'd say this is the first year where I'm uploading with a actual focus on growth. Even last year, I was just uploading just because I'm like, it's just nice. Like, I just like to share my journey. I like to share what's working, what's not working. But this is the first year where I'm like, okay, the goal is actually to grow, because I feel like I had a message that was worth hearing. But I also understood it doesn't matter what your message is. It also matters you do need to placate into the algorithms. You do need to at least have some sort of a strategy in place. So at the beginning of the year, I told my team we're going to hit 500K subs this year. That's the goal. And obviously we managed to do it. I think we're on pace to end the year at 850, 900K. So there's a couple things that went into it. I mean, even right now we have 3 full-time YouTube thumbnail editors. So I'm spending, $8,000 a month just on YouTube thumbnails. And they're all in-house full-time. Now, I upload 1 YouTube video a week. So you might be asking yourself, how do 3 people work full-time just on 1 YouTube video? Well, they're doing that, and then each week they're going back and rehashing like 10 YouTube videos. And that's one of the, I could probably not upload for the rest of the year. I'll still do 100K a month, right? Just because they're going back and they're rehashing old videos and stuff like that. So, I mean, that's one example. In terms of the 89 million we did last month on the redistribution platforms, I looked at what Tate did, and I was like, this is genius. But, one of the advantages of not being the first mover, but seeing how someone else did it, is you get to see some of the shortcomings. And the only issue with him, and I've seen a few other people try to do it, the affiliate marketing strategy, is you've got these affiliates that are posting on your behalf, but let's say there's a narrative that you don't want to go out, a narrative that you don't like. Let's say, the issue is, you'll have Tate, or you'll have some of these other people, and their affiliates are obviously incentivized to clip up things in a way that almost portrays them badly to get the most amount of views. And the issue is, let's say there's something, because I've even talked to my team, and I've got Spencer, who's incredible, and he's my head of content redistribution. We actually have 19 full-time people. Full-time, they work for us only, daily team calls. They're part of the full culture of my company. And I even had to have a word with Spencer about certain clips that have gone up, because they'll take a 5-minute interview, and then they clip it into 22 seconds, and I literally didn't even say that. Like, the way you stitch it together, it's just something that it's so far from what was actually said in the full long form content. But the benefit is, that's my team, right? So I can come in and we can readjust, and we can be agile, and we can say, okay, that actually isn't a good representation of the brand. And even, I guess I'm giving everything away here. I even told my team, and we're going to action this in 1 or 2 months. In 1 or 2 months, I don't want any more talking head videos. And in fact, actually, this plus I'm doing one more. This will be the last podcast I've decided to do in the next 2 to 3 years.
Wow.
Because as well, everyone has their strengths and weaknesses. I've realized I'm not a master orator, right? Speaking is not my strong suit. I'm a little bit more on the autistic spectrum. I'm a little bit on the more, I can be quite engaging, and I can be quite gregarious, but I don't get my energy from being around people. I get my energy from being alone. So I'm not made for podcasts, right? I do them just because I like having long format conversations and, hanging out with incredible people such as yourself. But that's not really my medium. So even now I can go and I can tell my team, hey guys, in 1 or 2 months, we're going more this direction, right? The more visual direction. The thing I understand very well is brand, public perception. I understand how to kind of piece these things together. And obviously, my first ever business, a creative agency, my background is in photo video. So we're going a little bit more sort of the visual direction with the content redistribution team next year. Whereas if I had affiliates, I couldn't do that, right? So obviously the downside is I have a, multiple 5-figure a month cost to run this team with no like clear-cut ROI. It's not like they're bring me back money and then I'm giving them some money as affiliates. Like, that's sunk cost, but it's, I guess in my stage and, running the businesses I run, I feel comfortable, making that trade-off. So, that's basically And that's never been done before on that scale. People want to do the affiliates, but people aren't willing to spend, multiple, tens of thousands a month to have this team with no clear-cut ROI except for let's just get the message out there.
You're building brand and you're building awareness for yourself.
Yeah.
But you said earlier,
I'd say actually, sorry to interrupt you,
please.
except for Gary Vee, right? Like he's a perfect example of that, where it's like, I don't know what the ROI is on this today, but I know there's going to be an ROI in the future. But I don't think he didn't do any of the redistribution channels and stuff like that. Like we have, I think at the moment, like 22 accounts between the different platforms. So it's kind of like taking a love child of the best of what Gary Vee did and the best of what Andrew Tate did, and basically looking at it and being like, let's still be in control. Let's still be in control of the brand, and we get to decide what goes out and what doesn't. But then let's also not just rely on one platform or one account. Let's have multiple different accounts spread out.
So you are going to be switching more to a visual direction. What does that mean exactly?
What that means is, look, I do very, very cool things, and I'm also although I'm very public, I'm very private. And the thing is, I do things that sometimes I don't realize that it's not normal, but I guess it's just, obviously I'm in a weird situation where I started my first business at 16. I made my first million at 18. And it's like, I guess certain things just become normal to me. Yeah. Like the other day I was at, I landed here. I landed in Miami at 11, got to the hotel after a good fight with TSA. Oh, man, TSA always gives me issues. I was born in Dagestan in Russia.
The last name.
So, because Gadzhi is just my shortened last name. My full last name, Gadzhi Magomedov. I mean, wow. Yeah. I'm a walking red flag for TSA, even though I've got a British passport. So, after having a little bit of issues with them, got to my hotel, and then, went out for lunch and then did a bit of shopping, did some shopping, spent probably $110,000. To me, that's normal. I don't feel like I need to post it. I don't feel like I need to make a video out of it. Whereas for other people, that's just like, for me to go out and just do a bit of shopping, spend $20,000, $50,000, or, go pick up a $300,000 watch. That's just like, I don't know. I don't like to document my life like that. But I understand for other people, they love to see the fact that, in 2015, I started my business. And in 2015, I've literally got clips of me being like, I can't afford to take Ubers. I'm so excited until the business picks up because I hate taking the bus. And like, you can see those clips in 2015. And then to see where I am now, I think it's very inspiring for people. But I don't really give people a peek into sort of my actual day-to-day life. I don't give people a peek into the fact that I've got my wedding, my employee's wedding in Mexico in a few days. And, my team is flying out, some of my team is coming out here. I'm taking 10 of my employees. We're taking a nice Falcon jet, to go to Mexico there and back. It's $100,000. And
so you want to document that journey as opposed to talk on podcasts and be a talking head. And I think you are really good on podcasts, but I think that
it's not my special. Everyone has their thing where they understand that better than anyone else. And that is their competitive advantage.
But 10 years, give you 10 years. Like if you wanted to do that, you would be really good, and you will be really good at 31 regardless.
I do agree. But then I also think about it, and I think I also plan years in advance, and I look at where are things going. And I think there's a time for everything, right? Everyone has their time. If you think about even like 2014 to 2017 or 16, it was that like Gymshark, Alpha Lead, fitness, and that, I'm not saying that's gone, but that's died out in some senses. People want to see something different, right? I mean, early 2000s, you got, people want to be guys want to be as big as humanly possible. Then you've got Kino Body that comes in and whatever it was, like 2015, 2016 is like, no, you just want to look athletic. Mm-hmm. So everything goes in cycles. And I think, there's been, between Tate, between Fresh and Fit, like there's a lot of like talking head stuff. And at a certain point, I'd say Tate's different because he can talk about literally anything and make it entertaining. Yeah. But then you've got guys like Fresh and Fit, which, I have so much respect for them. I was meant to go out there on their podcast, but they're in Romania. But it's at a certain point, it's how much can you watch of the same sort of content. And one of my friends messaged me the other day and he's like, dude, you're killing it right now on all the social platforms. There's very few people that are doing my sort of numbers at the moment. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool, but it's not about, it's not about doing well. It's how it's not about, getting to the top, which I certainly am not at the moment, but, up there, it's how long can you stay there?
Right.
And for me, I look at things and I'm like, I don't know if in a year people are still going to want the same talking head videos, podcasts. So I just think, I'll give you another example. in 2015, 2016, people freaked out for like the J Alvarez, Jon Olsen, I think was another one. Like that sort of like vlog lifestyle-y stuff. Even one of my good friends, a guy called Adam Horowitz, he ran a channel called Wolves, and like it was just like daily sort of fun lifestyle vlogs. And I'll be honest, there's nothing on earth I would rather do less than do a vlog. I don't enjoy that, but I just look at the way that things are going, and I think that is going to come back around where people want to see sort of the intimate details of someone's life. And if I do that for a year or 2 years, you know, I think it's, yeah, I think it'll be, I think the market is kind of changing, and I don't know what's next. I'm taking a bet on that, but I think that'll work. And one of the biggest comments I get from people is, because on my YouTube, I'm very, very vanilla. I'm very vanilla, like, or at least for my standards. I try to stay a little bit more PG, vanilla on YouTube, unless I go on podcasts. You know, I think if you went on my main YouTube channel, you'd think that I'm just one of those YouTube finance guys, like, whereas I'm the complete opposite. I have very, I wouldn't say radical views, but I have very different views to most people, I guess you could say. Whereas on my Instagram, that's where I'm super unfiltered. And I think people want to see a little bit more of that side on YouTube. So I'm taking a bet, and we'll see.
If you enjoyed this clip, watch the full episode right over here, and don't forget to subscribe.